All right. First show of 2026, and we're absolutely kicking the door in on this one. Strap yourselves in. This one's going to be a ripper. There's a lot to get through. Few feelings might get hurt, and honestly, if no one's slightly annoyed by the end of it, then we kind of screwed it up. How you doing, Shikai?
Hey, I'm great, buddy. Great over here. Put
That's
on an
good. We
event
don't.
this weekend. So yeah,
That's
we're
good.
good.
That's good. So you're recovering from that?
Yeah, yeah. Turn it down today and tomorrow. Busted, but we're good.
Perfect. We don't care how Canada is, so we'll just move on. The Falkland Islands signed off on 2025 with a New Year's Eve race, and we discussed that briefly last time. They had their race on the 31st, I believe. It was a Wednesday, and then they had their dance off with their pants off. So they did that. Um, Apparently, the clock struck different down there, so they did the perfect send off and had a motocross event. There are some photos on their Facebook page as always, but to be honest, I have a day job. Shikai has a day job. Pretty sure Canada just lays around playing video games, but we didn't have time to pull up any photos, but we do have some news on what's going on, why that is. If you want to see some photos, go over to their Facebook page, which is Falkland Islands. I think it's Motocross Association, and you can catch up on everything going on over there. We will be talking to Sean Moffat from the Falklands soon on our Talking Heads episode. So to get the full unfiltered version of what goes on down there, just stick around and we'll be announcing that here shortly, probably more than likely towards the end of this episode. Bermuda, well, they've been flat out like a lizard drinking 4 races in 2 weeks. So Shikai's going to get into that. No easing into it, no mercy, just absolutely sending it down there on the island. Shikai, he's got the lowdown, and we might let him have some conversation here shortly. Um, he'll be letting us know who held it together and who's in the hospital laying in traction. Um, if you're here for the polite opinions and gentle takes, you might want to grab another podcast or maybe grab some beer and pizza and join Shikai and have a little bit of a listen of the chaos and a proper start to 2026. You're in the right place. Let's get stuck into it. So, I do not have the latest weather report for the Falkland Islands, and that is totally on me. That is not on Hobnob or Shanice down on there. But if you want to blame them, DM me and I'll send them the message. But I'm just going to assume that it's forking windy. That's what we had last time, so that's what you're getting this time. And if anyone wants to prove me different, they can hit me up in the DMs on Instagram at island.torque. Um, Chikai, what's the weather like in Bermuda? We haven't had a result from you for the last couple of months.
So the weather in Bermuda is today was good. Yesterday was shit. During the race, it was like a hurricane, windy, rainy, but great racing. So I mean, yeah, pretty good.
Well, I did see some video of it, and I saw a bunch of information and photos, and there was one race there that looked particularly nasty. But yeah, we'll get onto that here shortly when it's your turn. So
Yeah.
moving on, we will be explaining what's going on with this podcast here shortly. But one question that's come up in the DMs more than once is why do we cover Bermuda so much? And I'll going to give you the real answer, tell you exactly why we cover it. Shikai and I both have day jobs. Believe it or not, Canada has a day job. Um, so we get information from the path of least resistance. We look on Facebook, we look on Twitter, we look on Instagram, and that's where we get our information from. So if someone doesn't send in something that's going to catch our eye or just doesn't send in anything at all, we just don't have time a lot of the time to look it up. So I have a Bermudian on the podcast, and I talk to Shikai many times during the day. I have a bunch of other people on the island over there that send me information. So we have a lot of Bermudian information simply because we have a lot of access to Bermudians. So please, if you want to be on, if you want to be featured, if you want to get us some information, help us out. I will tell you about the website that's being built right now. I'll tell you about that shortly. But we're going to feature you all. If we get the information, we do not have a problem putting it up there. So um, that's basically where we get our information from, and that answers that question from me. And um, I think Shikai's got the same kind of answer. He is Bermudian. He's in Bermuda, so we go get our information from there because it's easy to do, right, Shikai?
Definitely. I mean, we can only give you what we have, right? So if you, like Justin said, if you want to hear about something different, send them more information. I definitely have a day job and don't have time for a lot of research, but feel free to send in what you have.
I mean, unless someone wants to send us a check for, $1 million or something, and then Shikai and I won't have a day job, but might be pretty disappointed with the shitty podcast that we still put together.
Yeah, I think we'd have less time for podcasts.
Don't tell the people that we got to pretend like we'll use their money for something.
We will. Go racing.
Yeah, there
Go
you go. There
racing.
you go. And that's a good point. We'll be talking about the racing, and Shikai's going to share some news with the Ireland athlete development program towards the end of the show. We'll be brief on that, but basically, we're going to discuss the shift. Island Talk is not going to be abandoning racing. It's just outgrowing recaps. It's just outgrowing listing off results. To be quite honest, I do not know most of the people that I'm talking results from. Shikai knows the people in Bermuda when we list results of Gozo Island and Malta and Sicily and the Falklands. We do not know any of these people. So when we make fun of someone, we're not making fun of that person because we don't know that person. But what we are going to do is we're going to transition our website that again is under construction. That will host the results and the photos and events up that are upcoming. And then the podcast is going to switch over to how do we help the islands? How do we work with everyone to get the news out there? How do we make people know about what's going on in the Ascension Islands. Personally, and I think I can speak for Shikai and Canada on this. None of us even knew that the Ascensions existed, and we definitely didn't know where it was because when I first sent the photo over to say, "Hey, this is where it is," we were all kind of dumbfounded. So we got some stuff to cover, but essentially the results will tell people who won. They don't tell why the racing exists or what happened at the event or anything like that. So we're going to shift a little bit further away from that. Um, Island motorsports and especially motocross survives in conditions that would kill any races on the mainland fairly instantly. Like when I go to a race in California or Florida or wherever it might be, if Bermuda, Falklands, Gozo, Shetlands, whoever it is, tried to run that same event. It just wouldn't happen. And Shikai, you can tell what happened to the boys and girls that are listening when we tried to get Bermuda signed up with FIM.
Yeah, that was crazy. It was almost like pulling teeth, to be honest. It surprised
Yeah.
me how much how much resistance we got for trying to do it. I thought everyone on island would have been for it, and we've tried twice. And the first time we had full funding, and I couldn't find any riders to go with me. Um, and that baffled me. And then we tried again, and it just fell through. I still don't understand how it doesn't work, but hey, maybe if someone else on the island tried, it would work.
Well, I don't. One of the big hurdles that you have, and it's going to be the same for most islands, is when the FIM, sorry, bring out the rule book. You just can't comply with the rule book like that. The track in Bermuda is never going to be signed off by anyone on the FIM, regardless of how much money you spend with it. So, you just don't have the rules. You don't have the room, and you don't have the availability to comply with any of the rules that they set forward. And I know people probably don't want to hear this, but most tracks on most islands, regardless of how much money you throw at them, just don't have the ability to comply with those rules. So, like Shikai said, the FIM kind of just bobbed us off. They wanted a whole bunch of people to be flown down and put up in five-star hotels, and they would go and inspect the track and then inspect the island and drink Mai Tais and swizzles and pizza and beer and all that sort of stuff on Bermuda's money, and then not let them
Tell us
be in
no.
the FIM anyway.
Yeah, tell us no. Our track's too small. It doesn't have enough runoff. It turns on to the other side. It's not enough. This, yeah, pretty much. We don't have the space. I know we don't have the space to be FIM affiliated um in Bermuda.
Yeah, and we're going to fix that. We're working on that. There's plans in how to do this, but that is a problem that most islands face. And for anyone that's interested, if you look up Bermuda and you want to see their motocross track, um, go to Google Maps or Google Earth, whatever you're using. Go to essentially, what would that be? The east side of the runway. Go southeast of the eastern tip of the
Yeah,
runway, and you'll
southeast.
see
Yeah,
the motocross track, and that's what they when we refer to south side, that's what Shikai's dealing with, and that's what everyone in Bermuda riding motocross is riding on. So, yeah, if you want to see that, then go and have a look. But you'll see exactly what they're dealing with, and most islands are dealing with something pretty similar. So moving away from just results, we're going to go towards other stuff, and essentially, if island motocross made sense on paper, it wouldn't exist. If you could write down, or I gave Shikai a piece of paper and said, "Hey, tell me about how we're going to put motocross in Bermuda," everyone would laugh at it. But fortunately, you're dealing with people like Shikai, and you're dealing with people in the club, and they're dealing with people directly in the government, and they make it happen. So it's a good thing, and I think the people in the Falklands, they make it happen. The people in Gozo, they make it happen. Shetlands, everyone's making it happen. So we're going to cover more of that stuff. Um, the reason we're making the shift is results driven shows are very short lived. They're very interchangeable. By the time we get the results, everyone already knows about them. No one really cares. And I understand, some of the kids like to hear their name on the internet or their name on a podcast, but let's face it. Um, Me and Shikai are probably the least professional podcasters out there. So to have me or Shikai say your name is probably not that much of a boost, but if we can help you out, we'll put your picture and everything on the website, and hopefully we can make up for it there. But Island Talk's value is context and meaning. We're not here to be first. We're not here to be right. We're here to be useful. So, um, we want to help out where we can. Shikai's talks to me often about how do we help more, and um, one of the reasons we don't help more is simply we just don't have the time. So this is our way of helping as much as we can. And
yeah. Go ahead.
let's face it. Sorry, Shikai, what do you got?
I was saying, go ahead. I'll let you finish.
Well, one thing we need to face it is islands are logistical nightmares. Island clubs run on volunteers, not institutions. Equipment and talent leakage is constant. When a bike breaks down, the Shikai and I were talking about getting a ride at the Coney Island. One of the big problems is coming up with a bike that they'd be allowed to ride. Every island scene is one bad year away from collapsing. And I've been a part of some of the clubs that have collapsed and then had to take a year off and get back up and running and up on their feet again. And they go for a couple of years and they collapse again, and then someone gets them back up and running. And I'm sure this guy's seen it. So we just want to keep the ball rolling, keep everyone going, and motocross appears on almost every island that is populated out there, some form of it. Even the guys in the Ascension Islands, there's I don't know how many people. What did we say? There's 800 people on the Ascensions, and there's a motocross track and motocross bikes, and people sending in motocross photos all the time.
Yeah. So I have never seen in Bermuda motocross collapse, but I have seen a class with two bikes in it. Way back in the day at Coney Island, the 80 class before it was 85s only had two bikes, and like maybe we had 20 or 25 riders throughout the whole season. Never has seen it collapse, but I have seen it almost extinct. But I've seen here lately, the numbers have been tremendous. So I guess we're doing something right in motocross on the island.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So as we grow and get more smarter, we want to give everyone a voice, one island at a time, fewer lap times, fewer results, more lived experiences. Um, Clubs and volunteers matter as much as riders. Problems will be named, even if uncomfortable. We want to help everyone exist. We want to help everyone, you know, do better. One thing Shakai and I 100% always agree on is we are not here to try and tell you you're doing it wrong or try and tell you how you need to do it better or righter or more safer or anything like that. That is not something that we want to do. We just want to help bring everyone together, help unite, help get everyone racing and have more fun. Um, that's I'm think I'm talking for Shakai there.
So we don't get to tell them that that track's not good and they need to change it. I thought, no, I'm just joking. No,
I
what not
mean,
I do.
we can tell them their track's shit, but we won't tell them that they have to change it. Maybe they like shit tracks.
They shit tracking, no problem.
There you go. I think we're gonna have to get Sean Moffat. He's gonna have to show us how to go shit tracking. I I am not going riding on these. He's got these rivers of rocks in the Falklands. I have no interest on ever riding on a river of rocks. Whoever came up with this extreme enduro bullshit needs to be thrown into a volcano on a mountain somewhere because it's stupid. If I wanted to carry my bike through somewhere, I'd put some handles on it. But I don't want to do that stuff. But we'll go shit tracking with Sean somewhere, and maybe he can take it to the Ascension Islands or somewhere else and take everyone shit tracking.
Sounds like a plan to me. I'll ride on the rocks with you, Sean.
I'll send you a photo of it, and you'll probably go, "Yeah, I'll give it a shot," but I'm pretty sure you'll give it up. But event of the week. We're still going to cover some little things. Event of the week was a tough one to call. I know Shakai's going to be sad about this because it was a toss up between Coney Island and our friends, our Northern Irish friends over at the Magilligan MX Park. Coney Island will get coverage later in this episode. So I'm going to give this one to Magilligan. They have the Irish Youth Winter Series coming up on the 11th of January. And if you're in the area, you need to be there. I'm a bit of a sucker, and I'm sure Canada, and I'm going to say Shikai is a bit of a sucker for an Irish accent. And there's plenty of Irish ladies going to be there. So if you want to go over and see some Irish motocross at Magilligan, be there, be squared. Don't care whatever it is. There's race coming up there on the 11th of January. So go over to the Magilligan, but track of the week, event of the week is going to be Magilligan MX Park, right near. I don't know if anyone's watched it. I'm sure you have Canada, but they have the Derry Girls, so it's not too far from Londonderry at all. So right up the road, so you can go and get your Derry Girls fix on and go to the races if you want.
Derry.
Island Motorsports Association Hall of Famers will be announced this month. This is a new thing that I just dropped on Shikai right now. I've been discussing with some other people, but we'll announce them this month. We had a handful of nominees, and I think you're going to be pretty surprised which two are getting the nod. And there's a reason I kept Chikai out of the whole conversation because I'll let him know who's going to get the nod here after the podcast, and he'll be, I think, pretty happy with the results. And we can talk about it towards the end of January and let everyone know who they are. And we've got to get the plaques printed, or plaque, as an American might say, and get them printed and shipped off to where they need to go to. So we will be having the inaugural Hall of Famers for Island Motocross um, towards the end of the month. All right, Coney Island, Shikai, this is your time to shine. I'm going to let you take it from here for a little bit, and then I'm going to have some questions for you. So take it away, my friend.
I have absolutely nothing to say about Coney Island. What's that? Just checking. Coney Island. So Coney Island went off pretty good this weekend. It's been the last, I would say, month or so has been pretty stressful. Last season I was behind the scenes helping Joy, and this season I took on a little bit more of a upfront role. I helped him as I usually do. We built the track. Um, but then on the race day, I was the race official. His dad and I, we shared the role of race official. So organizing the racing and making sure the day went on well. And surprisingly, it did go great. I had hundreds of people telling me that the day went great. They can't wait to be back next year. And it was some awesome racing. We did things a little different as well. Not every race was regular out and out race your class racing. Um,
Don't forget that you weren't here with us last week, so we didn't cover the Coney Island round one either. So you got to tell us about both the rounds.
oh shoot, I did forget that. Yes, last week, good rest his soul. I buried my cousin.
Be truthful. Last week you were drunk.
Yeah, I was drunk after my cousin's wake that I had buried. That actually helped get my motocross career going. So I was down in the dumps a bit. But so round one. Um, the day was awesome. It was a beautiful day. Thousands of people showed up. Racing was amazing. The dash for cash was exciting. Let me get back to dash for cash. 50cc class. We have one rider, Kyo Cannoner. This little kid is gonna be something one day. I don't know if it's gonna be a Jet Lawrence, but right now he is the kid to watch in Bermuda. Um, it's a if you go online and you type in Coney Island 2025, you will see Sandy Hill and Devil's Drop. This kid makes it over on his e-bike in the 50 class, where big bikes were having hell getting up and down. He was jumping doubles and it was amazing. It's a sight to see. Like, so if you're from Bermuda, we have every so often we have a good rider. Um, everyone's everyone rides good in Bermuda, but going away when you go to the US, we're all average or below par because we're so used to riding one hard pack track. So Coney Island's different because it's got um elevation exchanges and off cambers and different type of dirt. So it's not just hard pack. It was corners had ruts and we put mulch on. So the
You
track
can head
was
over to our Instagram page, and the final post is actually Kyo Cannoneer on his on his 50 getting around the Coney Island track right on there.
yeah. So Kyo rode well. And then during intermission, we it's kind of Justin's idea that has been pushing on to me for a long time, and I had no clue Jai was gonna do it, but we had a street bike class where they bring the KLX 125s or CRF 150s, and some people rode Surons, and we had over 20 street bikes racing the intermission. We only did I think we did 3 laps, green, white, checkered, but they wanted to ride again after the race. We have a axe riders race, so you had guys that hadn't rode in years come out, put the gear on, and have a race. And then we have a hood class. So in Bermuda, every neighborhood has a guy with a motocross bike that don't come to the track. So on this day, we have like encouragement: bring your bike down, suit up, and let's see how good you ride. Now that class is hilarious because people end up in the trees, and I'm pretty sure Justin has that one on our website or on our Instagram as well. The guy on the Suzuki jumping and going into the trees. Do you have that one, Justin?
Yep, yep, that's on there. That might not be on the main feed. That was on a story, the guy looping out, and I had to chop out some of the swearing because there was a lot of swearing in that.
Well, if you listen to a Bermudian talk, every other word is the F bomb. So we do cuss a lot. But yeah, the hood class is just to encourage guys that have motocross bikes and ride them on the road or on the golf courses to come over and race and show your stuff. It's very entertaining, but we did get, I would say, 5 or 6 hood guys from last year that actually signed up and raced the novice class this year. So they actually went out, started training, and the proper members, and they're actually racing now. So that class is working. Um, the X Riders class, nah, those old guys just want to stay on the coach and come up once a year. And then we have mechanics race. These are all just, random have fun classes because Coney Island isn't just about racing and a trophy. It's actually it's one day where it's definitely nostalgia because Coney Island was 20 years ago. We haven't had a race there, and then it's a lot of memories for people. So people just have a good time. So you just want to give everybody the crowd. Like if you came down, Justin, you could get on a bike and race one of the classes if someone would let you ride the bike. Just and we make the track safe. So there's the big jumps, only the pros are gonna think about doing. The smaller jumps, everyone jump. It's lots of corners, lots of off cambers. So anyone in the crowd looking at it is like, I want to try that. And every
Well,
year we get.
next year we're going to get Larissa and or Natalie Kane over there. We want some women races, and I know Bermuda's got some women racers that want to come out of the woodwork and come out of the spider webs and stuff like that. So hopefully we can get Larissa and Natalie over there, and they can do it in Bermuda and show them how the girls go.
Yeah, so um we actually had a women's race the first day. And Melanie Monroe, Tina Wall, and Lacey. I don't remember Lacey's last name. So we had 3 women race. Mal won. I believe Tina came second and Lacey came third. So it was some good stuff.
Well, don't forget, Chikai, you've been thrown under the bus. I'm pretty sure Canada threw you under the bus with having to bring that rider up from the Falkland Islands to race the women's class in there in Coney Island next year.
Yeah, yeah, Canada did throw me under the bus. Luckily, you're paying for it. But we're gonna we're gonna get the women's class back up and running. The girls, the ladies did have fun this year. They said it. They were ready to race again yesterday, but the rain and mud, the track was horrible afterwards. So results, not really results, but just the first day recap. Yeah, it was some great racing on the first day. We had in the dash for cash.
Who was the standout? Who's the rider that, like, I know you mentioned KO and all that sort of stuff, and I don't want to go on with Jai and the pro class, and our boy Jonah didn't show up for the head to head battle, but who's the standout? Who do you go, hey, that's the person that really epitomizes Bermuda motocross?
So standout for me in this event, it was a couple of them because you had some guys that have never raced before, and they came out and they wasn't winning, but they were competing. Um, so my standout would have been Kaio, like I told you, but then it was you would have a Johnny and um there's another kid in the pro class. His name is Zeno Taka. He went 2-2 on the over both days in the pro class. He's a local kid. I believe he's raced away once or twice, not really had any real training, and he beat all the foreign riders we brought in. The only person he didn't beat was Jair, but he went 2-2, so he made some good money over the weekend. And that's
I,
Zeno Tucker.
was he? I saw some video, and I could be completely wrong. Was he riding a Yamaha, and he was number 22?
No, no, he was riding stock and he was number 77.
Oh, okay. So he was on the Stark. So
Yeah, he was on the stock. And actually the Dash for Cash on the first day was a good race. Last year's second place rider, which would have been Azende, he crashed. And um Alj came second and Zeno came third. But then this weekend he went 2-2. And so he had a great weekend. He's had a great race week, I guess, at
oh,
Coney Island.
perfect. So
He
I
put in.
reached out to Sebastian Tortelli the other day, and we are going to work out how to put a Stark into a glove compartment or some luggage or whatever, and get it over there. We'll see if we can get one of the Stark factory riders to next year's event.
Yeah, we actually have a couple on Island. Aaron has one. It's three or four on Island.
Yeah,
And
we
the,
don't want to take away from them guys racing if we bring over one of their factory riders, or maybe even get Sebastian to come over and do a school and race himself. Maybe we'll work that out. But I've got a bug in his ear, so I'm telling you, Sebastian, if you're listening, well, I know you are listening because you're into all this island motorsport stuff. Organize some riders for next year's Coney Island. Be there.
and I'm gonna throw something out there. It may sound biased, but I need someone to come Bermuda and beat Joy. And I think it's gonna be hard to do. I don't care what you say, Justin. It's gonna be hard to do. I need to find someone to come to Bermuda and beat Jair Mitchell.
Well, we'll work on that.
Because I found a guy last minute. His name is uh Jason. Shoot, I can't remember his name. But anyways, he came and he assured me he was gonna beat Jai. He gave it how. He tried his hardest, but no, Jai waxed everyone. I need someone to beat Jai. So if anyone's listening, we have a dash for cash. This year the first day was a $10,000 cash purse, and the second day was a $5,000 cash purse. So it's not like you don't get paid. It's the pro class. You can make some money, but I need someone to come and beat Jai, please, if you're
So
listening.
what part of putting on the race would be completely break a mainland promoter? Now, I've said it before, and I've said it to you a couple of times. You take people off the mainland, you take them to the island, and they think they get there and they think they know everything. But as soon as you get into onto the islands, everything goes out the window. So what part of putting this event on would completely break a mainland promoter?
Rules and regulations of, like, let's say Coney Island. Um, we had planned the event since last year. We didn't get permission to have the event till I believe it was like November 20th. Now you gotta build the track, truck all the dirty in, organize machines, everything you have to do to build. You know what it takes, Justin. Imagine doing that, not knowing when you can start. And then they give you a start date of December 15th. So from I had 2 weeks, we had 2 weeks to organize everything. And then they tell us you can only start on December 15th and our race is December 22nd. We have to put up fencing, we have to like so it's a park. And they give us all these safety regulations. Just the organization. So if you bring in a mainland promoter and they don't know anyone on island, they're gonna be screwed, and that will break them. Fighting against people that don't want to have the race, like the bird people, or the people that love parks and stuff like that, is, and I get it because they're trying to preserve the nature, but at the same time, what this day brings for the people of Bermuda is I can't say it's bigger than the birds because the birds belong somewhere as well. But on
Well,
this trip,
here's the thing, and I don't know if you listened to the last podcast or not, but for me, I've worked in the motorcycle industry and the mining industry my entire life. Now, there's good environmental people and there's bad environmental people. And the thing is, if you are doing a race or you're building a mine or digging a hole in the ground or whatever it is, the environmental people are there not to just shut it down, but to help it be a success and help it be the least amount of environmental impact that it can be. So if they're just going to the newspaper and saying, "Oh, this event shouldn't happen," that's not doing their job. That's not living up to the people of Bermuda. That's not living up to the environment. I know Coney Island has a bunch of invasive species of plants and weeds and all that sort of stuff. I mean, if I was an environmentalist person and you guys were putting a race on, I'd be the first one down there first thing in the morning and say, "Hey, Jai, Shakai, everyone, can we move this piece of track over 10 feet so we get rid of this invasive species," rather than going crying to the newspaper and saying, "Oh, this sucks and everything sucks and everyone's destroying the thing." You can totally bring back the environment 100% better than you left it just by doing it the right way. And in environmentalists, that's their job.
so the first thing we done last year was we got a tutorial from Parks on what you can and can't touch. Trees. I mean, no one's gonna harm the chickens because all I see is chickens and rats, but we wouldn't get her. So we found out the invasive trees and all that stuff, and we know stay away from them. You can't trim this, you can't touch this. Tell me exactly what we need to know so we can keep the park to how you want it. And we done all of that stuff. So this year they came up with it's no longer the birds and some of the trees, it's soil erosion. It was an
Yeah.
article out last week about soil erosion. They just complain that I don't know. I don't get it, but it's just like we want to work with them and hopefully they want to work with us because they can help save some of the youth of Bermuda by just helping us with this event. We aren't trying to kill Coney Island. We aren't trying to kill the birds. That's not our plan. We don't want motocross there 24/7. It's 2 weekends out of the year. One at best, if that's all we can get, but two is better. And we put the park back better than we get it every time.
And that's the
So
exact case. I knew that was the case, especially Jai had some comments in the newspaper article that you're referring to, and he was spot on. He was 100% correct. And I know you well enough to Shakai to know that you're not there to destroy anything in Bermuda. You're there to make it better, and that's why everyone loves you. Um, so with this race, if this race disappeared tomorrow and you weren't able to have it for the end of 2026 and whatever's going on beyond that, what does Bermuda lose? What does that look like to Bermuda and the average Bermudian? What does that look like? I saw a picture of the parking lot, and it was just cars for miles and miles trying to get onto Coney Island to watch this race. So it's obviously a big event. But how much does that impact you guys and the islands of Bermuda if you lose the
so
event?
last year, I want to say it was the second or third biggest event. Um, it's bigger than a lot of the other events that go on in Bermuda right now. And the impact for me, so on the day you get to see all walks of life and there's no violence. Like I told you guys last time, gang violence in Bermuda is huge. And on this day, everyone comes together and watches motocross. So you lose a lot of positivity. People really come out that don't ride, they don't race anywhere else. So I believe it was 100 and something odd riders. Down at Southside, they have maybe 50, 60 riders. Don't quote me 100%. This is just what I believe. Um, 60 riders. So where did the other, I don't know, 40, 50 riders come from? Off the street, out of the trees, bikes in the house, riding up and down, and they just want to come out and go for a blow. So what do you lose? You lose potential new members for Bermuda Motocross, potential new racers, like people that just genuinely love motocross. You're gonna lose that. They're gonna be back on the street doing a pack instead of being encouraged to go racing at the right place. So the
Exactly,
future of
exactly.
motocross is it the future of motocross depends on this a lot.
And Bermuda tourism. Bermuda tourism needs to get with us. Shikai, I'm calling on him right now. Get with us, and we'll put a Bermuda tourism package to go to Coney Island, watch some real racing next year, 20 end of 2026, start of 2027.
And that's another thing that we're pushing for is to get some different funding so that we can get more overseas riders for each class.
Well,
Because
why we've been talking, Canada did send me the middle finger in a message. So he sent me because I think he's got plenty of money. He's calling Moneybags Canada. So since he sent me the middle finger, he did write after that that he's going to help sponsor some tourists to go to Bermuda next year to watch Coney Island. So watch this space because Canada's coming up with the money to do that.
ooh, blame Canada. Yeah, so no, that's we're looking to get Caillou, someone to challenge Caillou, and someone to challenge King Clark, someone to challenge a Johnny, and so on and so forth, and definitely Jai. So we need at least Jai brought in some guys this year. I believe he brought in five riders. One came for the yesterday's event, Alex Wages, and it was for the first event, but they were all in the pro class. We want to get some kids to come down and actually challenge our locals and just come and experience Bermuda because when you hear motocross in Bermuda, you think it's a joke. But we I think what over 50 years running and we've been traveling to America and to Canada racing for at least 40 years. So we are a big motocross rich country, even though it was small, but we're definitely into it. And when you come here, it's just a culture shock because you wouldn't believe motocross is as big in Bermuda as it is.
Yeah, and of course, I've been going there semi-regularly since 2003. So, it's a good place to go. It's a good place to go and get your swizzle on and go and travel the island and meet a whole bunch of people and all that sort of stuff. So, anything else you want to cover with Coney Island before we drop off and get off this boring ass podcast where we're doing the shift and go into more fun stuff of next week?
Yeah, it's actually two guys that I race boats with that came out and raced motocross this weekend, and one of them's an ex-novice champion, that's Rikai Reyna, but the other one that surprised the shit out of me was Ryan Resendez. I got a hats off to you, Ryan, because I didn't think you was gonna race, and then when you raced, you could actually ride, and it shocked me because he's one of my competitors in boat racing, and we have some mean hooks, and again, off the street or the coach or out of the bushes or wherever he came from, and he raced motocross and he had a blast. Like everyone that raced said they had a blast, and that's always our aim is to have fun. And yes, I do have one more thing. Race format for the pro class. Well, it wasn't even pro class. It was big bike open class, the Dash for Cash. Um, we allowed everyone to race it. It wasn't just the pros. And we started a flag start, everyone lined up, and I gave them like 40-second gaps. So the over 40s went first, the novice and over 30s went second, and then the experts. And I made Jai wait long. I made Jai wait at least 50 seconds before I let him go. And by the end of the race, everyone was clumped up. I would say it was maybe 3 laps to go. Jai took the lead, but it gave everyone a chance to get paid. And it was a
That's
lot
nice.
of fun. It was good racing. It was good fun.
Perfect. Perfect. Well, um, Wrapping it up for the night, the Island Athlete Development Program meeting is set for January 7th at 4 p.m. Pacific time. I think that makes it about 8 p.m. in Bermuda time, which is most of the people that are invited to this one are in Bermuda because of buying the package to allow them to be into this meeting. Um, we will discuss the future of this whole thing and what that's looking like. The event that we've got Tino going to, so that will be on the agenda for that meeting. Um, our Buy Me a Coffee link is in our channel bio, and it's on Instagram, it's on YouTube, it's in Spotify. Every dollar, every cent that we raise on that Buy Me a Coffee link, you're not actually buying me a coffee. You're not buying Shakai a coffee. You're not paying for Canada's bond or anything to get him out of jail. What you're paying for is the Island Athlete Development Program and get these people traveling. We've got Tino coming up that will be going to a race here in the States very, very shortly. And then after that, the next rider could be someone from Gozo, it could be Shetlands, it could be Falkland Islands, although from what I understand down there, it's like a $10 million flight to get off the island to get back onto it again. So that might be a little bit of a logistics nightmare, but maybe we can get our boy Lewis from the Ascensions over to a Supercross or something like that. But every dollar that we raise with Buy Me a Coffee is going to go towards helping riders and athletes and mechanics out to go do the Island Athlete Development Program. Shakai, you got anything before we wrap up?
Yeah, a little bit just to touch on what you're saying, because I get asked all the time, what do I get out of helping people? Like, why do you want to help? Like, you're not making any money from it. And at the end of the day, motocross has saved me. Racing has saved me, boats or bikes. But motocross, firstly, has shown me so much and created so many new families for me. And I just want someone else to be able to experience it because the whole reason we have the podcast and the race team and everything else we're doing is for me, it's the passion. It's never gonna be about money. It's always just to make someone else experience what I've experienced through my life and why I'm so passionate about motocross and my love-hate relationship. This is like my worst girlfriend. I hate her today, but I still love her tomorrow. It's ridiculous. I've quit motocross a million times and I just keep coming back. But yeah, it's not about me. It's about the kid. It's about the next person. It's about that one kid we're gonna take Supercross. They may never even race. They may, but to experience and meet the new people is just that's my main thing is to make sure that someone gets to experience what I've experienced.
Perfectly said. So I believe that our maybe I did this. Let me see if I did this right. I think the link to our website that is currently under construction. I nearly said destruction. Currently under destruction is on our Instagram. Let me just see if the link is there. Links. Here we go.
What? To run errands.
Shit. So it's not there, but it will be soon. So I will put the link to the website being constructed on our Instagram. As always, you can get us on Instagram. It's the easiest place for us to get into it. There's a lot of DMs coming in and out of there, and you can tell us what you want to hear more of, more talk of, all that sort of stuff. You can find us as at island.torque on Instagram. DM us. We're very open to hearing what you want to talk about and what we want to cover. Until next time, keep riding, keep representing, keep uniting, and we'll catch you in the next time. Have a hell of a 2026, everybody. It's a good night from me and Canada and Shikai.
Check you later.